Hello, I'm back. So I've finished putting my album together, my journal cover. I did go back inside and I just used roughly 8-inch squares of the sheet I've been chopping up, and I've just covered roughly the inside of the cover and a piece down the centre spine just to make it look a little neater. I've started decorating the outer cover. So I've done a mixture of quilting and hand stitching, so machine and hand. So there's a piece of batting under here and there's another piece of the sheets underneath as well for backing. I'm learning to quilt at the moment, which is another rabbit hole that I will blame a friend called Madeline for, because she's got the most amazing quilts that she's made over the years. So I've joined Pattern Pool and I'm learning to quilt as you go. Just because I've got so much time on my hands. Not. So this is the cover, and I was inspired by these fabrics, which I'll show you in a moment. So that's kind of the route I'm going down. This was actually printed, so I've got a piece of vintage cotton at the back as a little layer, and then this was a piece of the same sheet that I've just handwritten field notes on. If you're very careful with a micron pen, don't press too hard, because if you press hard the ink becomes very juicy and it will just spread into the fibres. But if you use a very light touch, you can get away with writing, and it's waterproof after, because it's, well, you can't get rid of it, can you, micron, when you get it on things? So I've just very carefully doodled, and then I've gone round the edge with a distress crayon, a couple of different distress crayons, to try and tie it into the blue of the egg and the blue in the background. So my plan is I'm going to kind of do a concertina. So there'll be a long piece, oh, excuse me, that I'm going to work on roughly about a 7-inch square, and then add them onto the long piece of the cotton, so that as I go along, once I get two pieces next to each other, I'll fold them, stitch them, and that will become a page to turn. I'll do that as I go, but I won't be putting them into the book. So by the end of the book, what I would like is to have, that would be adhered onto this side, then I'm going to cover it over with a pocket, and I want to make a separate little watercolour journal as I'm going along, following the same prompts, but just something a little bit different. I toyed with the idea of having the watercolour pages sandwiched in between the fabric pages, but I'm not too sure about that, how it will work. So the other thing was going back to having a pocket at the front, and I can put bits and pieces in. Could do that as well, don't know, but that's roughly the plan. One of the books I found this was just from a second-hand book marketplace called World of Books. I use them quite often, free delivery in the UK, and this was literally a couple of pounds. It's definitely seen better days. I think it has lived in somebody's shed, because it's quite rough around the edges, and it's lost its colour on the front and sides. But inside there are a couple of little pages of stickers. I know not where they're from. Somebody's obviously written Thunderball numbers on the back of one of them. I mean, maybe I should put those numbers on, who knows. And it's about designing the garden, but it's got the illustrations inside, plans for gardens, and then it tells you about all the different plants and the different months. So you've got lovely little illustrations in here, and I thought for a couple of pounds it was worth getting, because it's interesting. The illustrations are beautiful. I mean, look at that, that's just beautiful. So that was one of them. And the other two books, one of which, this one, Corinne, Rabbit Hole, took me down. The minute I saw this, I just thought, holy moly, that is so gorgeous. I got it from World of Books again. It was in the new books section, and I love this because you've got record keeping pages at the back. I love the style of it, and the fact that the way the journal's done. This, now look, it's just open straight at that page. When I got it, my post this morning came with a big elastic band wrapped around it. My mum passed away 15 years, and I do still talk to her now and again. And I just laughingly said, oh, look, Mum, the 7th of May. That's your birthday. Oh, you've got a vine weevil, look. My mum was forever chasing down vine weevils. My garden was full of them. Her garden was full of them. And I was having a chuckle. And what happened? The elastic band snapped and I got wrapped across my knee. And I just thought, okay, fine. So, following on from that note, oh, this is just absolutely beautiful. I will sit down later. It's only arrived today. I will sit down and look at that later. This one, I've had these before. So this, I think this might be the latest issue. This is volume 6. And again by, I think it was Corinne. If it wasn't Corinne, it was Christine. It was one of them that led me astray. And when I looked at it online, it was all kind of French country farmhouse, and I thought, that's right up my street. And then blow me, and I had to use the elastic band as my bookmark. Here we go. Hope you can see this. So, whoops, knocked the lights over. So dark here today. I don't know if you can see this sewing table here. It's a Danish one. I don't know what the design's called. Somebody out there might know. And it's a beautiful shape on tapered legs, and it has 2 trays that come out, and the top rolls round. That is my mum's sewing table, and I have it here in my spare room, and that's what I use constantly. So talk about having a wrap round the knuckles. I was led to this one. But I've got to say, the things in here are absolutely beautiful. And again, I will sit down and go through this many times, I'm quite sure. It's got all kinds of inspiration. It's even got cross stitch, which is something that I've really gotten into over the last 12 months, 18 months. So that's that inspiration. I better crack on, otherwise we'll be here till next Friday. Rescue tablecloth. It was sold to be cut up, but I hadn't got the heart, and it's too beautiful. I've bought a few scrappy bits and pieces, vintage fabrics. So these are just remnants, but they're big enough for making small elements. I hadn't got anything like this in my stash, so I thought I will get some of those, and they are beautiful. This is where I got them from, and she is UK based, and definitely go and take a look. Oh, won't show you that, a discount on it. But go and take a look at the Etsy shop. It's absolutely fantastic. And if you're just looking for a few bits and pieces, just to top up your stash, so I've got another box with bits and pieces of bits of quilt. I mean, these are stunning. Look at those. And yeah, so there's a few pieces of quilt in there. There's a few pieces of different vintage fabrics, and they're all in the colours that I've been trying to get my hands on over the last couple of years, and I've not been successful anywhere. So there are quite a few in there. There's some bigger pieces at the bottom, and these are absolutely beautiful. Look at these. So they may appear in here, they might not appear in here, but they'll be appearing somewhere. I do know that. And then in the bottom there's a nice piece of linen, which would make, oh actually that would make a really pretty needle book. So I should just pop those in there. Now my ideas started, let's move that out of the way, with this little bundle here. So my front cover, the postcard with the bird, came from, and I do hope I put it back in here, yes I did, this fabric. Now this collection is a Riley Blake, let's just show it you, and it's called Art Journal, and I bought it when it first came out because I absolutely love the fabrics. They are gorgeous. Some of them aren't suitable for doing a smaller project like this. Some of them are absolutely massive, huge book covers. But these are stunning. And this is what made me think, there's no way I'm missing out on this series. No way am I missing volume 6, because this is just made for volume 6. I mean, look at these. They are absolutely gorgeous. So there's a mixture of different birds and eggs and things on there. These are all parts of the same collection, I think. Oh, there goes Daisy Dog. So these are some of the black and whites, and I thought these would be perfect when I bought them for adding colour, so for embroidering onto. So they'd be a really good base for embroidering. For backgrounds, I thought I'd have some book pages, some ledger pages, and then we've got some musical scores with all kinds of bits and pieces. We've got adverts in here. I'll show you the right way around, that's helpful. And there's all sorts, look, garden, vegetables, seeds, flowers. And it's just perfect. Look, floral guide, fertilizers. There's another one from the same collection, and this is all butterflies, which I'm sure will pop up somewhere. Entomology. So pop that one to one side. Then there's a script, which is a good filler-inner. And there's bugs, because we've got to have the vine weevil in there. Definitely got to have a vine weevil in there now. Then there's a floral one that I got, and I wish I got a bigger piece than this. Most of them I got ½ metre of, and I wish I got a bigger piece of this one. Oh look, oh look, oh, okay. You see where I'm going with that one? Perfect. Yep. Okay, we'll leave that one on the top. And then these are all other bits and pieces from different collections. Let me just see if I can find. Yeah, these are Moda Fabrics. And this is Flea Market from Kathy Holden, who I love Kathy Holden's fabrics. They're brilliant. So I've got some of the Flea Market fabric. This is Flea Market as well with the stamps. This is lasting forever. This is a tablecloth, and I have no idea. It must have come in something that I bought. It's got marks on the centre, which is such a shame because it's ever so pretty. But I cannot get the marks out. I've tried all sorts on it, so I am definitely going to be cutting this one up at some point. Might not be with this, but that's in my I'm going to use it pile. And then this little lot, these are just bits and pieces left over from things I've been doing. So there's bits of calico and all sorts of stuff on here, and lots of Kathy Holden bits and pieces that are left over from something else I've been doing. And just some scraps in there as well. So that is kind of where I'm going. I'm going to work on 7x7 squares so that they're easier to handle, and then they can be added on to the concertina, which will probably get folded and made into a book. And I know the girls did that technique, and I will try and find it. It was one of the books, it's one of the early ones, it was either 1 or 2, and I kept thinking, I'm going to have a go at that, and I think this would be the ideal time for doing it. So I'm going to pull everything else out and start getting things together. I'm definitely going to use that bulb if it's going to fit, and take it from there. So I hope everybody's doing well. Here in the UK it's just been wet, and it's very dark, hence I've got 2 lights on my desk at the moment, and it's only 10 to 4. Good grief. So yeah, happy stitching everybody, and cheers, the tea time, keep warm, and I will see you all again very soon. Bye.